All right, so here's a simplified question. I skipped a little ahead. I like these. So x squared minus 25 is, in order to simplify, we need to get a common denominator. Just like a regular fraction, like if I said 3 halves plus 2 fifths, in order to simplify this, you have to get a common denominator. And one of the ways to get a common denominator is to multiply. So like in this case, 3 halves, I'd have to multiply this one by 5 over 5. Now, since I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same thing, this is technically multiplying this by 1, right? Isn't that just a 1? A 1 doesn't change its value, so it's still going to be 3 halves. It's just going to look different. It's going to be 15 tenths. Same thing over here. I'm going to multiply this one by 2 over 2. Technically, I'm multiplying it by 1, a value of 1. 2 over 2 is just 1, so I'm changing its value, right? It's just 1. When you multiply by something by 1, it stays the same. It's going to look different, though. It's going to look like this, 4 tenths. And so now we can combine these together with a common denominator. We're talking about the same size, a tenth of something, 15 tenths, and another 4 tenths of something. So we get 19 tenths, right? But this is the basic idea, and this is exactly what you're doing when you do a problem like this, okay? Also notice that if you have a problem like this, let's say I went to 3 halves plus 2 sixths, okay? Not a perfect example, but notice with this one, besides the fact that I could simplify this, let's focus on the fact here that in this one here, I would only need to multiply this one by 3 over 3 because that would give us that common denominator. So I get 9 6 plus 2 sixths. Okay, so sometimes you only have to adjust one of them. So the key here is figuring out what the common denominator would be. Now, a very common thing you're going to run into when you have a quadratic like this is you're going to need to factor this because most likely, and I'm guessing this is supposed to be x plus 5, most likely this will be one of the factors of this, and it is. So x squared minus 25, hopefully you remember how to do that, is actually going to be x plus 5 times x minus 5. Now I'm going to rewrite the rest of this. You wouldn't necessarily have to write the whole thing out each and every time, but I'm going to do that so you don't get lost in what I'm actually doing here, okay? So this is this denominator. It looks like this now. Same thing, just looks a little different. X plus 5 over here. I put parentheses around it just so I can associate it a little bit better. And it also helps me to see that, okay, that means this one just needs an x minus 5. So I need to multiply the numerator and the denominator of this side by x minus 5. All right, so now let's take our time here. We got 5x over x plus 5, x minus 5, minus, okay? Now, be very careful here. A couple different ways you could do this. Now, I'm going to tell you how I would do this. This minus sign, treat it like a negative with this 2, negative 2, okay? This minus 2 is going to be distributed into this. So when I distribute this, what I'm thinking, okay, a little thought bubble here. What I'm thinking is negative 2 times the quantity x minus 5. That's how I'm going to treat that, right? So I treat this way. The negative 2 would distribute. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10. Okay, that's how I would do that problem. Okay, so that means I'm going to get, okay, now since the negative I've distributed it in. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this minus right here because I took care of it already. There we go. And replace that. So that means in this one, it's going to be negative 2x plus 10 in the numerator. Now, some people don't like when we do it this way. I like that. Makes sense to me. In fact, it might make even more sense if we just skipped this step entirely and went right to, and so because you can pause and rewind and be like, wait, what did he do? I'm going to do this. Normally what I would do, I'd think about this, and then I would move down to, and this is how I would write the next step. 5x minus 2x plus 10 all over x plus 5, x minus 5. Now, so if I was doing this problem, that is what I would do, okay? I would just write it this way. I would skip right to this point. So I would think about this multiplication here, and then I would know that I would be doing the 5x, and then this is all going to be my numerator. Since my denominator is going to be the same after this, I go ahead and put this here, okay? I don't think that you can do, other than just combining these like terms, I don't think you can do anything else with this one. So let's do that. 5x minus 2x is 3x plus 10 all over x plus 5, x minus 5. And I'm pretty sure that's all you can do with this question. Hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll do a couple more of these here in just a moment.